at the velocity of this Vielo now. Absolutely nuts! Woo! Even we're talking, that's got a big fast. Ha ha!
My name's Guy Kestevan. I've been a bike and kit tester professionally for nearly 25 years. And today, the bike I'm reviewing is an exclusive first test on Vielo's V+1 Generation 2.
For a while, you know, I've had the original V+1, my long-term gravel weapon, for years now. Beautiful bike, super smooth, super light, proper premium floated feel on it, and it's been an awesome bike for testing a load of kit on. And the G2 unsurprisingly shares a lot of similarities. The geometry is largely the same. It's just got slightly taller head tube, slightly more sloped top tube, slightly steeper seat angle for a more aggressive position, and the BB's lower for more stability. Some significant changes around the BB. It's a lot broader. It's actually mirrors the R+1 road bike, which I did a review on recently, so I'll put that link in the video. And that's 30% stiffer than the previous V+1, and they've also remodeled the chainstays so they extend to the full width of the bottom bracket shell. So, more space. The tyres, you can get up to 50mm in there now. Oh, thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you. Because they've made that clearance with width rather than dropping the drive side chainstay, the chainstays are straight, so they transfer power better, and also symmetrical design means they can run the gear and brake cables through the stays for a really clean look. They've also tightened up the dropouts, and they include this Vielo all-in-one carbon cockpit as an option as well. So all your cables are tucked in properly, and I'm not talking just like, you know, hidden underneath a gappy stem or open bottom bar. This is a proper, sleek, integrated setup, and having rallied it super hard riding the techie courses of the Grind Euro, I can tell you that not only is it reassuringly strong, I mean the frame still passes all the relevant MTB standards in terms of safety spec, but there's obviously no danger about the bars slipping. You hit a big hole. There is a separate stem and drop combo. And this Alto version, the top of the range frame, weighs in at 880 grams still. And they've also broadened that sloping top tube, so that's stiffer laterally as well, but still got a tremendous amount of float vertically. So even though it's got a hell of a kick on it now, which is what the old bike really missed, it's still silk smooth once you get it up to speed. Even on these deep section 42mm DT Swiss aero wheels, it's properly gliding ride, but with crazy amounts of racer power transfer. And that's what Vielo have always targeted the V+1 as. Proper gravel race bike. But that doesn't mean they're missing out on practical touches either. You've got 3 bolt cages, 2 in the frame, 1 underneath. You've got top tube box mount as well. But clearance for those 50mm tyres, like I say, it's 700 or 650. But it's the speed and control of this bike now. And the handling, the geometry's pretty much road angle slightly slackened. And as you can see, it's a long stem. Come on, come on, come on, come on. So it's got that really responsive, precise feel. But the velocity of this Vielo now, absolutely nuts. Woo! Even we're talking, that's got a big fast. Haha. Pretty top end build. SRAM red. Like I say, these GR 1400 DT Swiss carbon wheels. But even then, at 8.4 kilos, without the pedals on, the cages in, you could still go a lot lighter. It's actually at 1600 grams plus. These wheels aren't that light. And these 45mm WTB regular tyres, nigh on 600 grams. So again, easy to shave, knocking on half a kilo there. And then on the back, it's actually running, XX1 Eagle rear mech is the top spec MTB mech with all the carbon trimmings. That 1050 cassette is not light. If you went with Tampag E-Car or SRAM's new Explorer group, you'd be saving a lot of weight just in rear sprockets. So it's easy to imagine this bike dropping down to 7 kilos or even lower. Thanks very much. And like I say, there's a more affordable version. It's 3399 for the frame rather than 3899, and that comes in a slightly different colorway. So this is either rock salt or blue, and that's a citrus green, I think they call it. I need to check the notes. Frankly, I'm having too much fun riding this bike, and I have done every time I've taken it out. Like I say, debuted it at Grind Euro, where it was ripping up the climbs and loving the descents, but also just really strong at tapping out tempo. And every time I've taken it out locally, all right, just one of those bikes that can't help attack things on. It's got that real racer vibe, even with all those Eagle ratios at the back. Find myself out the saddle and charging hard instead, just to make the most of that stiffer performance, that low weight. It's just one of those bikes that just takes what you've got and then adds a little bit extra on top. Just makes the gear a little bit easier, the speed a little bit higher. And because they either build all the bikes themselves, Ian and Trevor, up in Gateshead, or they work with a very small number of global dealers, top level bike shops, you can get pretty much any bike build you want in custom terms. And that obviously helps at the moment with supply shortages everywhere. So hopefully not only are you going to get an exceptionally quick bike, you're going to get it pretty quickly as well, which is not the case with Off the Peg. And it's just, that's where the extra money comes in. Just this beautiful bespoke frame with all these neat solutions. And that's before they announced a specialist version at Sea Otter in Girona. See, you've got those reprofiled fork tips, but then a bulkier top end, so you've got more room for tyres, and you've got a better response under braking. There's none of the flutter you could get from the V+1. Still got that flattened down tube, but now it comes much wider at the BB. So full width there behind that chain set. So you have to run this custom Vielo chain ring. I mean, these are on red cranks. It's a direct fit setup. And it's a 44 tooth. So together with that 1050 at the back, you've got a massive range of gears. And then you've got those reprofiled, fully asymmetric chainstays. And then you've still got that characteristic curve on the seat stays there, coming all the way up under the saddle. You've got custom seat post, and then the top tube again, slightly flatter for more stiffness, and sloped as well. And then you've got the little box mount there, and this super neat bar and stem combo, fully integrated. Just a beautiful piece to look at and to hold. And more primarily, it's a performance race bike, and it's definitely got a slightly firmer feel over rough washboard stuff than the original V+1. In the grand scheme of things, it's still really smooth thanks to those, that carefully curated carbon and those reflex curve rear stays. It's still a proper glider, and again with these wheels, while that deep section makes them a bit more rumble and rattle at slower speeds, once you get them rolling fast, skimming over the top of stuff, this bike just glides over the top, just lets you keep cranking that big 44 tooth chainring round, properly blistering speeds on a single track, and yet not get bucked out the saddle. Still sitting here nice and comfy, but it's well worth getting out the saddle to apply some power too, because it just keeps on going and going and going and going right over the top of every rise. And of course, 3 ball cages and the top tube mount means still to carry plenty of water or cargo kegs before we even have to go for bike packing bags. And this 45mm WTB regular tyres run by my choice for mixed road and off-road. Put something a little bit slicker and a bit less sticky in, and that low weight and efficient yet beautifully effervescent and calmed ride, it's going to make it a joy on the road. In my current V+1 in road trim, it's an absolute howling hill climber. So with the extra power kick of this, yeesh, it's going to be a flyer. And it's that mixture of on-road velocity and then off-road versatility that's just such a ticket to adventure with a gravel bike. And this Vielo V+1 isn't just a first class ticket now, it's a first class ticket in Concord. That was still a thing. Oh, well, this bike is just a proper joy. I mean, pricey, but worth every penny. Whew. Yes, boys, you've done another belter. It's just so much fun, and you know, that whole thing of, I've just written a piece for the website actually about, yes, gravel bikes aren't as good off-road as mountain bikes, but then that's part of the thrill. It's taking a bike and yourself to the limit, when mountain bikes frankly have extended those limits so far. It's mostly about just nerve and how far you're prepared to risk things than actual skill in some extent. And this, because it's such a competent performance bike as well, this is where this Vielo really stands out. Oh, bike coming up, please. Thanks very much, cheers.
Well done.
And even with this taller head tube, it's still a properly long, stretch out performance feel to this bike. You know, if you're used to revving a road bike, you'll have no trouble getting this V+1 up to speed, tucking your elbows and really making it rip. And the other thing, the bars, there's no flex in terms of distraction out the saddle, but just enough to stop your hands going numb when you're playing mountain bikes. It's just a beautifully curated set of composites. Whew. Maybe that eagle isn't such a bad idea after all. Well, not quite all the way down, but every time you kick up a climb or pick it up to peel over a stile, the low weight of this really is remarkable. Like I say, plenty more to come out of it. As well as complete builds on the alto and saxo frame, Vielo will be more than happy to put custom kit together, and they often do custom colours as well. Just check out their website, put a link in the notes, and get in touch with them, because it's a little father and son company with German designers Jens doing all the tech work, making the magic come true from top Far Eastern composite factory, and all the detailing right through. It's just sublime, it really is. There's no escaping the fact it costs a pretty penny, but then it is exceptionally pretty, and just the performance, the speed, the smoothness, the style and the versatility is bang up to date now. This V+1 G2, I mean, it was special before, but you know, they've evolved it into something even more wonderful. Proper top rank, super versatile, do anything, drop bar, road bike, gravel bike, race bike, whatever. This is just a beauty, pure and simple. So there we go, Vielo V+1 G2. Significantly faster, but even more settled, more stable, and still with a bewitching glide and smoothness. You have to go a little bit quicker now, especially with these wheels in, to pick that up. It's not the featherbed of the V+1, but the extra kick you're getting from that stiffer bottom bracket, those symmetrical stays. If you like your speed, the absolute maximum efficiency out of your wattage, then this is an amazing combination of glide and proper grunt out the saddle. They really have done a fabulous job with this evolution. And, so, you know, still an outstandingly beautiful bike as well, which has always been, you know, a real feature of all the Vielo bikes. They're properly drop dead gorgeous when you stop amongst, you know, when you lean them up for a selfie or you just drop them off at the calf. These are stellar looking machines, and the new pallets, I think, really bring that out. So, sorry, I'm waffling on. Massive thanks to Vielo for giving me the first ride exclusive on this bike. Massive thanks to Giro for sponsoring the channel. Thanks to PEs and Crud for sponsoring the channel as well. Big thanks to my Patreon subscribers who pay a small monthly pledge to support the channel, and they get exclusive, early, extended and behind the scenes edits as a thank you. And all those come ad free as well if the ads on this standard YouTube video get up your nose. So if you really like what I'm doing on the channel, please consider subscribing on Patreon for a very small monthly fee. But click, if you're not already getting notifications, click for notifications, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, like. Any questions you want to ask, get busy in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about my videos and think about the bikes I feature on them. Any advice, whatever you know, any way you think my 25 years experience might be useful, then fire away. But for now, I've been Guy Kestevan on Guy Kes TV, just feeling properly privileged to ride the beautiful and blisteringly quick Vielo V+1 G2.